Hey everybody, good morning. It's about 8:50 in the morning here on the 9th of February 2023. I'm just going to do a little look at the S&P 500. I took a look at Bitcoin yesterday, so I figured it's only appropriate to take a look at the S&P 500 today. At the very end of the video, I will probably take a real quick look at the US dollar index. I'll take a look at Bitcoin just very quickly, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here by taking a look at the S&P 500. Before I get into all of this, as you all know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research, and that's just my opinion on the market. So let's go ahead and move on into the chart. So what I've currently got here on the S&P, really not a whole lot has changed. It does look like we created a little bit of a leading diagonal here going into a wave A, 3 waves up into wave B, and then down here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a wave C. And for this wave C, again, I do believe this is on a higher degree of a correction. So I think this is just the beginning. I don't think that we've created a bottom just quite yet. So what that then means is I am expecting, based on the structure that we've got here, I do expect there's going to be a 335 to go up here into wave A. Now the big question is, where's this wave A going to actually end? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to dig down into a 15-minute time frame, zoom in just a little bit, and just to take a look here, from the lows, it's not clean, but I could count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here into wave 1, a little correction here into wave 2. Then off of these lows, we're basically working on a pretty big move to the upside. And I think it did catch quite a few people by surprise, myself included. But because of the thrust that we did have, movement to the upside here, especially taking out these highs from back here, what I'm currently looking at is the potential for wave 5 to actually go as high as, and note I said as high as, doesn't necessarily mean this is where it's going to go, but it does look pretty bullish. And if you take a look at futures were looking pretty good as well. So if this is a wave 4, potentially wave 4 is completed, right? So this could be this A, B, C, go down into a 5-minute, and we can dig this out pretty easily. Let's just go ahead and just take a look at this. Based off of this structure, from here, from this wave 3 here, we have this ABC into the A, ABC into the B, then a quick, swift move down here into wave C to complete this wave 4. And then, if that's the case, we're going to take a look at the potential for this being a 1, 2. And then we've got our targets based off of that. So let's go ahead and measure here from this low here to this high here. And then we get this pullback. Assuming that we have bottomed, what we're going to be taking a look at is for the 1618 and the 2618. And that again is going to be here at about 42.50 to 43.39. One way or another, it does look like we are going to make our way up here into this area to complete this wave structure, which would be the completion of a larger wave A, which means that wave B will be coming. And so that's likely not going to happen. Let's see here. I went a little deep there. I went to a 4-hour. Let me go out to a 1-hour here. Again, we're still looking for, a pretty big correction to come, potentially all the way back down here into this 37 to 3,800 area. We'll have to wait and see how high we go to make a determination on how low we go. As of right now, on this hourly, we're seeing a lot of things getting up here into overbought. We did get, the hourly come all the way down here into oversold, and it just happened to be, right here near the bottom. So just taking a look at just the indicator, we do have this down here as well that already started to play out. So we are currently working on a little bit of a gap up today, which means that, the likely scenario is we are probably going to get a little bit of continuation to the upside, at least for today and potentially tomorrow. So that's kind of where I'm looking at for Bitcoin. We're really looking at probably, I would say, 3 or 4, maybe 5 more days of bullish price action before we do see a little bit of a turn to the downside. Now, does the dollar index support this? All right, so let's take a look at the dollar index. The dollar index is currently dropping, which means, equities and things are probably going to be rising in value. And, again, looking at this from the lows here, we've got a nice little 1, 2, 3. Is this a 4? Are we going to find support here where we had previous resistance? And I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But if that's the case, what we've got, again, is a little 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have a little bit of a move up here. So the dollar index, unless it continues down and unless this wave is complete, right, and we're actually going to be going lower below this support, the dollar index would actually contradict the idea that we are going to get bullish price action up into that 4,300 area. So if you are going to be playing to the upside, just know that we are at a point where we really haven't seen the S&P 500 as high as it currently is, in contrast with the price action for specific time ranges. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, looking at the S&P. I'm going to go to a weekly time frame, and taking a look at this weekly here. What I want to point out is this is a different indicator that I don't have released right now, but we got a warning sell here the week after we started to see a drop, right? And it was mixed with things that were very, very overbought. We knew that we were going to be in for a pretty deep correction at some point. We do have a warning right now. We do see the green wave on the weekly is the highest that it's been all year, actually in a year, because when I say all year now, this is only February, ever since the top, right? When we were at the top back here in January of 2022, let's just go ahead and get this in here. So right here was January 10th of 2022. We're approaching that level right now. So it's been a year since the green wave on the weekly has been this high. Are we starting to see signs of there being some hidden bearish divergence? What I will say to that is if you are in a mode where we're talking about bearish divergence and hidden bearish divergence, what I will say is this isn't curling yet, right? We don't have any indication that we're pivoting. We have price action on the weekly that potentially supports the idea that we could be pivoting to the downside. Is it possible that after 1, 2, we'll call this one 3, 4, 5 weeks, right? We have 5 weeks where we were ascending. Is that going to look anything like this price action here, where we had several weeks of ascending price action, and then we had a rejection that following week, which was then, it had some continuation after that? Is that going to be what happens? We're just going to have to wait and see, because as of right now, really taking a look just from a trend line standpoint, I mean, we had this rejection here, a rejection here, 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 tried to poke through, had a little bit of a rejection, we curled, and we're up above that right now. We tried to have a rejection here, as you can see. This candle tried to reject, it got bought up, and then the 2 weeks after that were pretty, they were pretty bullish. So are we going to see a retest of this, and that's going to be all we get? That's very, very possible. Again, we're just going to have to take it, a few days at a time. If we get that pullback and we start to see support there, I'll be looking to get pretty heavy into some equities and getting back into that mode. But for right now, I'm seeing a little bit of a warning here. There's no real squeeze going on that I can see that's worth, really discussing, at least on the weekly. If you go out to the daily, we've got a pretty steep warning that indicated yesterday, mixed with our Wave Master indicator on the daily, which is showing the green, the yellow, and the red wave all in overbought all at the same time. No significant divergence that I will endorse at this time. But there are indications that we are near a top. Now, again, that doesn't mean that we've topped and we're going straight down. I'm just saying that we are near a top, and it's very possible we could see a little bit of a pivot. So what does Bitcoin think about all of this? Well, Bitcoin did some pretty interesting things. let's see here. It was yesterday, right? Bitcoin had a pretty steep drop. This move from the top here, what I will say is it looks pretty corrective. And I was potentially believing that we could see a move all the way down here to about 21.7. Didn't really want that to happen, right? We're currently seeing the potential that we've got, a little bit of a move up here. But what I will say is we've got some resistance that we have to contend with. And if I zoom out, right, this level that we're at right now, I mean, I don't need to draw any kind of a horizontal on this because you can see just from the green dotted line that goes across here, what we have is several areas where we've got some resistance. So let's just look at this. We've got a top here, right? And then we've got this area right here. All of these areas are going to be important for support and resistance. That level there, we've got this level right here where we're finding support and resistance. So what I would just say is this area that we're at right now is going to be pretty strong resistance. And have we been able to overcome it? Yes, we have. Did we make a new low here? No, we did not, right? We've got these lows that have, they've been defended and they are continuing to be defended. But right now you have to recognize that we are at a critical area of resistance. And unless we can get up above 22,800, this would be, an interesting place to, to see a little bit of a rejection. Now, on the hourly time frame, does it look like we are to a point where we're done? What I will say is, based on what I'm looking at here, we've got the red wave, which is completely oversold, which just crossed. It's crossing right now, right? No confirmation on that for, let me go to the 12-hour. No confirmation on that for another 9, almost 10 hours. So just, keep that in mind. But again, we do have a little bit of a cross there that is starting to form. So give it another 10 hours, wait till the end of the day for this to all work itself out. But realize we're not far away. I mean, we're right in that zone right now, right? We're right inside of this zone. If it can get back up above this, then I would be more interested in taking longs. If it starts to see a rejection there, and if it gets back below about 22.6 or so, I would say that we're probably seeing a nice solid rejection off of that. This level has been defended for the last several hours. We had a pretty steep drop off here, but this doesn't look impulsive right now. This move right here, which I will go ahead and outline, this move does not look impulsive. This looks corrective. This, that, and this. That looks like a corrective move. That does not look like an impulse, right? So that doesn't look like an impulse to me. So now that we're here, let's wait and see what happens. Let's take it 1 hour at a time. Let's find out what some of our other positions are going to be doing because we're in a few other positions as well. So, but again, we're just taking it, 1 day at a time. Pay attention to the reason why you're in the entry, and if the reason is still valid, there's no reason to exit. But when your thought process has been invalidated, that's when you need to be looking for exits, looking for a reason to get out. But as long as we're maintaining the structure, I would say this still looks like it does tend to show some accumulation. We do see a little bit of distribution, but there isn't anything here at the moment that indicates that we are going to be falling out of the floor. But I would say that if we do take out and close below 22,300, then likely we are going to be starting to see a more significant pullback. But for right now, this could be the completion of a wave 4. Again, this move right here looks like the completion of a corrective move. All right, that's what I've got here. I'm going to go ahead and end things here. I think this was good. If this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, the deal. Like, subscribe, share. If you need access to our Discord, you can find that information on bitdoctor.org, where you can get access to education, trade ideas, where we do crypto trades, we do options trading. We've been absolutely destroying NVIDIA over the last week or so. And I guess last but not least, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, good night, and a good evening. Take care, everybody.